interesting topic, shaping the future of Indian media with cloud native, 5G and AI-driven live production. My question to you, Mr. Paul, TVU Media Mesh creates a global shared memory fabric for live media, allowing instant scaling from one feed to hundreds, and seamless sharing across vendors. In India's diverse markets, where legacy broadcast systems coexist with new digital workflows, how can Media Mesh simplify live production and enable smoother integration across infrastructures?
First of all, thank you, Manoj, for having us here. Media mesh, a very important part. If you look at today, the infrastructure as we go to cloud, as we demand full HD all the way to 4K. Often the case, we need to bring all the different vendor, different solution, and different technology together. Media mesh build a foundation allow anyone from any location, from any virtual server, connect with each other. So that's one of the foundation. Once with that foundation, we are able to create any of the solution very fast, very easy. Because in this industry today, very important for us is how we can push the technology forward. The technology is changing very fast, but on the other hand, demand. Our audiences, our common customer, not only just a broadcaster, but the viewer, demanding new content, new way of content is to be created and to be delivered. And with that, often the case we need a new solution. And how we can enable the industry continuous changing, continue to evolve is foundation. With the remote share memory, this is possible. Anyone has a question on that?
Any questions?
This is very open. It's an open session.
A microphone there, please.
If you could share some examples of how you're already using it in our region, and what kind of players are already using your technology besides your own.
Media mesh as it is now, in fact, a lot of customers has used. The reason it has been used is it's a foundation of all the TV product and services. In one of the example, one of the customer, maybe you saw the announcement of ANI. ANI today are able to bring or create very large amount of clips. We are talking about 4,500 clips a day, and with minimal resources. And how that happen, it require a lot of the cloud-based solutions. And put all those pieces together behind the scene is media mesh. All those microservices, remote share memory, so enable connect all different of the sources together and enable those functionality. But this is just another one of the example. Another example is, in fact, outside the US. One of the very largest station group in US, outside India in US, is Fox. Fox actually today using TVU infrastructure from PCR to MCR to distribution. Entire infrastructure on that, they are very successful. Very few media organizations are able to do the experimentation like what they did. And it's this kind of fast evolution, flexibility, adapt to a different environment, enable the media company continue changing. And because, as we said, the young generation watching content very differently from people like me. And how we can create the content, enable the creators, content creators, using those technology for the market. I can give you another example. Quite a few of you talk about young generation. You may know one of the big influencer, iSpeed Show. They are able to do live broadcasting around the globe. And in US, continuous 35 days with very minimal investment. And do all kinds of production traditionally you will not be able to see or not able to support. They are able to do it. So topic influencer creators recognize this is one of the very important tools. And the media mesh, the cloud-based services, including some of the AI later we can talk 5G, become the foundation of flexible, mobile, and effective production. Some of those content attract over 100,000 people watching. 100,000 people. How many TV stations today can get any given time has 100,000 people watching? Very few. Very good question.
Okay, now I would like to go to Subodh
Of
for
course,
one.
please.
With India being the world's largest mobile video market, how will 5G-enabled transmission and IP-based workflows transform live news, sports, and entertainment coverage for mobile audiences?
Thank you, first of all. There are two questions basically. One is the 5G based and one is the IP workflow. So first I want to answer for 5G. So now you know we have 5G for all the three biggest operator we have, Airtel, Jio and Vodafone. So people are using it for live transmission because again, that live transmission is the same on the 4G also. But now people have increased the quality, video quality. When I say video quality, basically they have gone to full HD, HDR. Okay, and some are even going to 4K also, like we have seen IPL. So what we have helped us in the industry, especially in India right now, so we have built our acquisition units, the backpacks, with all 5G capabilities and using multiple antenna at the same time for each 5G. It's called it a MIMO antennas. So we are using multiple MIMO antenna, which is very important for a 5G band to be covered. So, and this helps not only in doing earlier there was only a final production output and using a backpack and doing a live. Now they are doing a remote production using that. I just give you one example. IPL auction, it happened in Riyadh. So there was a 9 camera coming live using backpack on 5G to Mumbai Geo office, and they were doing the entire production over there. No need of moving the people to the field. Similarly, there are multiple examples for the news channels also. If there's a 4 camera setup, 5 camera setup, so they don't move the PCR or MCR or PCR to the field. So because of 5G enabled bandwidth they have, they're bringing up the live videos to the studios, to PCRs which they have in office to do the live production, and that's growing. And when in terms of the IP workflow, okay, so we as a TVU are in the entire IP workflow from acquisition to production to distribution. On the production side, we are helping people to do a cloud-based production called PCR TVU Producer, where they can do clippings, where they can do audio mixing, audio-visual mixing. All the graphics can be enabled on that, and they don't need to invest more on physical hardware. Earlier they used to run. Just during the show, I came up with many YouTubers. They want to come up with a channel. I said, "What is your plan?" He said, "I want to come up with a news channel." I said, "Do you have so much money?" He said, "No, I don't have, but I want to." So I said, "Why are you investing money on the hardware? Try a channel on a cloud, spin up a PCR on a cloud, MCR on a cloud, okay, and do experimentation. For 3 months, 4 months, you will know how much viewership, how much money you're making. If you make money, good money, you can anytime buy hardwares and all this stuff. If you're not making money, so you can turn it off. You don't have to spend money because if you buy a crore of rupees equipment, it will be bought, reselled at 30%, 20% only. So it's a big loss. So they understood that because now the technology helping them to build that type of infrastructure where they can build up everything on the cloud and with a very less cost and the recurring cost. They don't have to pay upfront the money. Okay, so they understood that very well, and definitely they will be going. Some are already trying it also for the fast channel, and like every news channels have their own regional channels. They all are on the cloud now. So they want to leverage cloud more and more, and we are helping them to do that.
Interesting. Yeah, question there from the lady.
Thank you. My name is Jyoti. This is very interesting concept, and I know that this is going to be the way forward. But how is it looking when it comes to, say, a theatrical kind of quality? You know, it's okay for a sports or a YouTube channel or something like that, but you're talking about a reality show, something somewhere getting shot, and you want to do a live production of that. Do you have any use cases on those?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
I can answer that question. There's a a small broadcaster in France happened to call France TV. And during the Olympic last year, you know, the frame relay, 60 days around the entire France. And they said, we don't have the budget of 3.5 million euros to cover this frame relay. How we can do it? And so what we did is we worked TVU, we helped them using mobile transmission over 6 acquisition, different team, mobile acquisition. Then everything into the cloud. And they have 3 people do the PCR, 2 people do the MCR, and 1 remote commentator. They are successfully broadcast for 60 days without any interruption. One of the very important part is they gathered over 50 million viewers. 50 million viewers. And, you know, yes, France TV is a public TV station. It's not about making money. But they're serving the taxpayer. Taxpayer paid them, and they created the content over 50 million viewers. Of that, they saved 95% CO2. No hardware, no dedicated resources, and cost is 1/10. 1/10 original said $3.5 million.
Also, just want to add, Paul, remember we did the Emily Award? We did an Emily Award, okay, entirely a remote production. And that was during the COVID time because nobody can travel. And all was on the IP technology. So the full Emily Award, which is a big award ceremony, not in India,
Yeah.
Emmy Award, it was entirely on TVU ecosystem. Okay, and similarly, we did some YouTube's.
Do you integrate, say, if you want to integrate something from the archive for Emmy Awards, you said, I want to pull up some 10 years old content and then immediately on the fly add it to your existing, you know, live production. How do you do that?
Of course, you have to do certain planning. But go back to earlier what we talked about remote shared memory. In fact, the infrastructure is no longer limited to cloud. It is a hybrid. With a hybrid, you can bring the signal on-premise. So if you have a MEM and you have the storage, you can have a playout on local, bring the signal to the cloud.
Okay.
And so you do the mixing in the cloud. So you can do effective as if it is local. Today, the technology, one of the foundation has changed with what we talk about remote shared memory and all those microservices. In the old days, we move media from one media to another location because processing machine is expensive. So you move the media one to another. Today is reversed. The processing power is everywhere. Yet you can easily move the application or you move the microservices. That's what we want, as light as it can be. So now you can move the process to where the media it is. Earlier asked the question exactly what we have addressed. Instead of moving the media, you move the application. Now you can bring the signal to anywhere and the processing on site very, very efficient.
Okay, Paul, I would like to address this question to you. In a country where regional content demand is booming, how can cloud-native production platforms empower small media outlets and independent creators to deliver broadcast quality content without heavy infrastructure?
Well, I think earlier we already answered this question in a way. But I do have to say this. Super local has tremendous potential. If you look at the last 20, 30 years of this industry, people begin to thinking, okay, I have a nationwide, if not global, news channel. Hopefully I'll cover everything. But the reality is people care what happened in the local community. And there's no one, in fact, no competition can compete with the local news because there are people interested in. I'll give you one example. we serving about 75% TV station in US market. And there are a lot of small TV stations in local media market ranking 200 media market, small. But Texas is one of the example. We have a station in Texas. When one of the hurricane hit Texas, that station online streaming has such a viewership they never seen before. Why? Because people evacuated. They want to know what's happening. They want to know what happened at their own home. And so people are watching the streaming. So super local has tremendous potential. And but if you're asking how can you create an infrastructure like a traditional infrastructure to compete with big stations, they can't. That's where this kind of cloud infrastructure will be tremendous valuable for them, because now they can compete effectively.
Okay, one point which I would like to address to you, Subodh. The local cable operators, they create local news, right? So are you all addressing to that segment of the market also?
So many of the local cable operators reached us recently for the same thing. Okay, so they want to spin up their own. Basically, they want to spin up their. They have multiple channels they have, and they have multiple requirements, and they don't want to invest more money onto that. Like I just give you example of GTPL. Okay, last day GTPL was here. They want to spin up 20 channels. They have 20 channels, but they have certain requirements, which is not fulfilled by the traditional high cost playouts. But they said if you can do something fast on the like development wise, fast on the cloud base, it will be cheaper for us, and we can easily adapt it. So now even today from Hyderabad 2 or 3 cable operator came similar requirements. So I think next future is there only because they want to contend the localization content, because localization content and they will be monetizing also localization. So they will not be showing Coke or some other ads. They will be showing other local sweet shop or something like that, local ads, which people will love to see, local people want to see. So that's the future of that.
Because we have the SCAT show happening on the third floor,
Yeah.
where all the local operators are, coming and
correct.
visiting along with the MSOs.
Agree. And also, as the technology advances, in fact, we can talk about, from, automation to AI and all those. Today, actually, it is possible you can have one person have a 24/7 TV station. In fact, we have some customers successfully do that. The line between PCR and MCR is completely vanished. You have a single user interface, you can do anything is possible.
How do you see AI-driven captioning, translation, and content clipping address India's linguistic diversity and enhancing the accessibility and engagement across the regional audience?
I mean, AI is going to be a fact of the life. And AI going to help us to do a lot of things we cannot afford to do in the past. Speech recognition is simple. Speech recognition in the past, to be accurate, often the case you need 3 human simultaneous typing, very intensive work. Now you have AI-based speech recognition, which is hardly cost anything. And the same as translation. There are a lot of room for development, because one of the challenges for a simple translation is you did not translate the emotion. Sports event, you cannot easily say, hey, let me speech recognize, then we do a translation and then synthesizing. So it does demand a lot of the technology development, but I think it's a way to go. We have seen one of the our customer thinking to do a sports event using AI to do entire production.
Since you handle matters on a global level, how are you seeing the global broadcasters adopting AI? Are they, going in an aggressive way?
I think they are adopting faster than what we think should be. Because they all have tremendous fear. All of us have fear if we don't move fast, and AI gonna overtake us. We have clearly demonstrated thorough How many of you know about Sora? Very good. Sora create a, we don't have TikTok here, but Sora create a TikTok-alike service. First week, more download than ChatGPT. Right now, it's top of the chart. And it clearly demonstrates if you create interesting content, viewer is there, and AI gonna be one of the engine to create a content.
What's your take on the Indian broadcasters looking at AI?
So the Indian broadcaster, definitely everyone talk about AI, but when it comes to deployment side, okay, so they are like more worried on the price sensitive side, because Indian market is all a price sensitive market, and AI has a cost, okay. So they want AI, but at the same time they don't want to pay for the AI. I just give you example, like some platforms AI like emotion based translation and all, so that platforms has a charges per minute, like $10 or $20 of, but here nobody's want to pay for 1 hour also $10 or $1 for per hour also. But yeah, drastically when the technology comes, the prices are high. When the technology got more usable and then pricing at low, definitely people would that, because that's a challenge which I have faced myself. Because we introduced AI in 2018 when I joined TVU. Okay, I joined in IBC. So I was there, and I saw the product. It's AI, speech translation and face recognition. So when I came back and shown to the customers and pricing and all, so nobody was ready on that. Now also still they're talking, but how many have adapted it? The exact proper AI. Now, not the free ones, the paid ones, which are with the good services, like that way.
But I have to say one thing, believing technology. Why I say that, go back how many years? 1991. 1991, I developed the first full HD TV hardware. That was ATSC decoder and encoder. That was, 1991. Not many people knows. My budget was $20 million. And everyone said, how can any consumer afford a TV set that costs multi-million dollars? That was the first decoder, cost over $1 million. And how can people afford? Guess what? Today, a full HD decoder chip costs less than $2, $3. That's a cost wave. So as long as the technology moves fast, the costs will come down extremely fast. And that's one of the reasons a lot of people say, Americans are crazy right now, invest trillions of dollars into the AI, because we believe in the cost will come down at a speed faster than we expected.
So AI is going to be the future. We'll take one question. Anybody has any question from the audience? Yeah.
I would like to just ask about just from where he left off, saying that AI and cloud is where everyone is moving towards as of now. Considering India being an economic that is again price sensitive, but at the same time adoption of technology is very much over here. So where do we see this AI or cloud specifically in the broadcast and media in the next 2-3 years? How it is going to reshape it?
I jump in. You feel free to jump in anytime. So I would say cloud and a hybrid, cloud and on-premise, we shouldn't exclude any one of them. Right now, using cloud has huge advantage. One of the main reasons is experimentation. We are still explore. We don't know what the cost it is. We don't know what the market reaction it is. If you look at it this way, what we really need as a technology company, all of us, we need to create a tool to the creators. Those are the people going to create the new content. Those are the people going to serving audiences, our common customer. How we can create a tool with minimal risk. Experimentation only time people can afford to do experimentation is there's no risk of failing. When I say no risk of failing, doesn't mean everyone will be successful. Means if it fail, has no consequences. And the way to do that is there's no upfront investment, minimal investment needed, enable them to do experiment. So I would say in the next few years, whoever the company willing to move forward, want to kind of create a new content, experiment, likely will be in cloud. Very likely will be in cloud. But as the business model established, mature, we will see some of them move off the cloud into on-premise. What is important is for those companies, broadcasters, look at the vendor, can provide the solution, can have a smooth transition from on-premise to cloud, go back to on-premise, and seamlessly. That's what's critical.
I totally agree with you. So and the question was right because the price sensitive market, as I mentioned earlier also. But yeah, hybrid solution is the answer for that. Okay, so people can do experimentation on the cloud because they don't have to spend any money. But yeah, once they think that the solution is useful for them, they can move it to the on-premise systems. But again, you should find a vendors who can give you smooth transition between that.
Okay, on that note, I would like to conclude this session and thank Paul and Subodh for joining us
Thank
in
you.
this engagement.
Thank
Thank you very much for this engaging discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Subodh. Thank you, Paul, for being here. Manoj will just hand over a small token of appreciation to you.